Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, we talk about all things fandom on this channel, and we talk about it in a positive way. If that's something that appeals to you, you know you've come to the right place. We're so happy to have you here, and today we have to talk about Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and it's not even our usual terrifying Tuesday where we talk about horror, but some major news has come out about Texas Chainsaw Massacre and the future of the franchise. So let's jump right into it. All right, so one of the most iconic franchises of all time is Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Whether it's because you love the series or just because you are that afraid of it, it has become one of the most iconic horror movies of all time for a reason. Now, when it first came out, the funny thing is that a lot of people thought it was based on a true story. And even to this day, a lot of people swear up and down that the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is based on a true story. The reason for that is that John Larroquette was hired to narrate the opening sequence of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Now, a fun fact about that is he was actually hired to do so, apparently, for marijuana. That was it. He was actually hired on to do that for nothing more than marijuana because, hey, different time, different situation, I guess, hey. But he ultimately ended up getting success later on shows like Night Court with nobody ever actually knowing it was him who did that opening narration. It wasn't actually found out until several years later that it was him, his voice in that opening narration. A lot of people still to this day, however, swear that the movie is based on a true story. They're partially correct because, of course, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, as well as several other franchises in horror, are based on Ed Gein. The real-life case of Ed Gein is utterly insane, and if you ever want to not sleep, go ahead and check out his story. But the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a classic for the viciousness of that series. The original movie was so utterly vicious and horrible that it just became a cult classic. Ratings boards hated it. Everyone hated it. We got so many sequels to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And a few of them I really, really like. And others I sort of like. And one or two of them I'm just like, no, please kill it with fire. However, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is back in the news. And the reason it's back in the news is that the rights to this franchise are being talked about. And we're going to read a little bit from an article from Bloody Disgusting, because Bloody Disgusting has kind of broken this down. This is what Bloody Disgusting had to say about the situation. Studios and filmmakers are knocking at the door of franchise rights Verve to get on board with the future of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise. The franchise had gone quiet in the wake of Netflix's 2022 reboot. Names including JT Moliner and even Glenn Powell have already come up, and Deadline says that they got an update this week. So this part of the article by Bloody Disgusting kind of goes into what Deadline says. So you can see that multiple places are reporting on this, which is totally cool. So according to the outlet's exclusive report this afternoon, and this is dated yesterday, Jordan Peele, Osgood Perkins, Taylor Sheridan are among the names vying to rev up their chainsaws. This is funny because maybe Taylor Sheridan isn't a name you know well, but Taylor Sheridan should perhaps be a name you should know, because Taylor Sheridan is actually someone that has done several TV shows. In fact, I guarantee you, most of you have heard of Yellowstone and all of its sister shows and spin-offs. He is the man responsible. He is actually from Texas, so maybe there's something to that as well. Maybe that could be something that could help him in this pursuit to be the person to get those rights. And I'm completely down with this. Apparently, he's a very talented writer, and he would only be producing more than likely. But still, that is actually something that is awesome. Now, the other person that they talk about is Osgood Perkins. And Osgood Perkins would produce and co-write a new Chainsaw movie in a different package with Brian Berteno. Now, if you don't know who Osgood Perkins is the person that's responsible for the latest Stephen King movie, The Monkey, and the guy he wants to direct with, Brian Berteno, is the person who directed the original Strangers movie. So that right there is insane. That's great. I love that movie. That movie has a very Texas Chainsaw Massacre-like vibe to it. These killers just come to your house because you happen to be home. They're ready to slaughter you. Yes, please. That's good. I'm down for that one entirely. I think that would be a good fit. He would do this along with Neon. So it would be a Neon package. They also talk about J.T. Moliner. And J.T. Moliner did Strange Darling. And the thing is about this one, this is probably the one I'm least excited for because he wants to do it as a TV show. Texas Chainsaw Massacre TV show, yeah, could it work? Maybe it could work, but I feel that the budget to that, I feel that the premise of that would have to be a prequel rather than have it be something that goes forward with the franchise. I don't think that has a good vibe overall. I don't know, maybe it's just me. Let me know what you guys are thinking in the comments to that. I want to know what you guys are thinking about him in general, because if you think it would be a good fit and you could see him doing a TV version of the movie, I would love to hear what you guys think. Jordan Peele is in talks. Jordan Peele is in talks with Monkey Paw Productions, that's his production company, to actually try to do a version of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Now, this would be exciting, but I see some problems with this right away because Monkey Paw Productions would be a good fit. But Jordan Peele did produce a horror movie before that was a reboot of a popular franchise, and that was Candyman. And when he produced Candyman, it wasn't beloved. It was an okay movie. I liked certain elements of it, but a lot of fans just weren't feeling the content behind the movie. A lot of fans didn't feel like it captured the heart of the original. And I have to agree with that, sadly. I don't feel like it did. Even though I did like certain elements of the movie, I feel like in order for you to have Jordan Peele attached, you almost have to have him at the helm of the project. You almost have to have him writing it. And with him not necessarily being on board to write it, with someone else writing it and him just producing, I see a rinse and repeat effort of what happened with Candyman. I don't think it's going to do his company, Monkey Paw, any sort of favors to have that happen. Now, I could be wrong. It could turn out just fine, and he could end up saying he's going to write it himself. Who actually knows at this point? The bottom line is that those are a few of the names that are attached to actually try to buy rights to this franchise and get something made. And I love this for this franchise. If any franchise at all should have the power to just keep moving forward over and over and over again, it's Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's somewhat based in reality with Leatherface never kind of stepping overboard into zombie territory like a lot of the other franchises bring their killers into, their slashers into this whole I'm now a zombie, unstoppable vibe. And yet, Leatherface pretty much always wins. Sure, he gets beaten in the end. You see him get beaten, but usually he's around in the end. And that's been something that's worked for the franchise, and I could see it moving forward in the future just that way. But I'm not sure if the original people that actually wrote the Texas Chainsaw Massacre are from Texas or not. That's something else. If you know of the original people who wrote Texas Chainsaw Massacre were indeed from Texas, let me know in the comments below. Because I know some of my fans probably know the answer to that and could tell me exactly what hometown those writers were from, if they were from Texas, and what inspired them to actually write that. I believe he had said it was just the story of Ed Gein, but could there be more to it? Was he actually from Texas and that's where he originally heard that? I'm not 1000% sure on that. Let me know in the comments if you know. Now, I like this news because, like I said, if any horror movie slasher could keep the ball running without going into zombie territory, it's going to be someone like Leatherface. Leatherface has pretty much been a staple, and the films always make money. Even the Netflix film made money, although a lot of people didn't really like that one either. I sort of found a lot to like about the movie, mainly the gore. The gore of that movie was great. That was key. And if they could do a reboot of that movie with a bigger corporation, maybe not have it go to Netflix. Netflix is still in the running, by the way, to actually try to buy rights to it as well. Although I think a lot of fans don't want that. But if they did, it would go forward probably from where they left off and not be a direct reboot, but a sequel. I think that fans are ready for that reboot of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, or maybe just a requel, I don't know. But I want to know what you guys are thinking. Would you rather just have a sequel from the Netflix movie? Do you think it should be a TV show? Do you want a sequel? Do you want a reboot? What do you want from this movie? Are you excited? Are you not excited about this news? Whatever you're thinking in the comments, make sure you're letting me know. Make sure you're leaving me that comment in the comment box below. Let me know exactly what you think about this project and how excited you are. Don't forget to share this video with all of your friends. They're going to want to be a part of this crazy conversation. And then friends, make sure you're hitting that like button. It's free. It helps the channel and we really appreciate it. Then make sure you're hitting that subscribe button because I definitely need more subscribers if I'm going to continue to bring you the positive videos that we're bringing you. With so much hate on YouTube, I think it's needed. So make sure you're hitting that subscribe button if you're liking this content, and then make sure that you are hitting that notification bell that's next to it so you don't miss a single video we do. Then friends, at the end of the day, I know it and you know it. Fandom is family.